We began this noon hour with some major breaking news. We have an update for you on this story that we have been following very closely all afternoon. Avondale Police confirming that they have located human remains in the backyard of a missing family's home in Litchfield Park.
Sky Fox flying over the home as we speak. Officers say they believe the prime suspect in this case is the family's adult son, who may have fled the country. Investigators are expected to give an update at the scene any moment now, so let's take you live there now with Taylor Works.
Yeah, guys, any minute we're expecting a press conference from Avondale PD for a little more clarity on this case. But we know this started as a missing persons investigation and has now evolved into a homicide investigation with the son of the couple who lives in this home named as an alleged suspect. I'll step out of the way so you can get a look at what the scene is like right now. It's still very active. We know this investigation began Tuesday when officers entered the home after family members requested a welfare check. Whatever they found inside the home indicated foul play may have been involved, and they called the investigation suspicious at the time. Police have not identified the remains found in the backyard, but have named 27-year-old Matthew Flores, the adult son of the couple who lives here, an alleged suspect in the case, and believed he may have fled the country prior to the welfare check. Neighbors gave us video of investigators digging in the home's backyard. They tell us it's a very quiet neighborhood and find the whole thing disturbing. Now, police say they're currently not releasing the name of the couple at the family's request, but anyone with any information on Matthew Flores' whereabouts should contact Avondale Police, or Silent Witness. Back to you.
All right, Taylor, thank you. And as she mentioned, we are expecting that press conference any minute now. If any additional details come out of that, we, of course, will let you know.
All right, well, we want to toss this back out live. This is the press conference happening in the case of the two missing persons. They have found human remains in the backyard. Let's take a listen.
Residents. Again, I'll remind you that this investigation began for us on Tuesday afternoon, in which we were called out for a welfare check. Family members of this residence called us reporting that they expected their mother, father, and adult son to be at the residence. Upon arrival to the residence, our Avondale police officers did not locate anyone inside the residence, and they found evidence of what they believe to be foul play. Our detectives came out to the scene, and we have been processing the residence and other items of evidence for the past couple of days. I can now tell you that our Avondale police detectives, with the assistance of the Phoenix Homicide Unit, are in the process of recovering two unidentified bodies in the backyard of this residence. The adult son, who was originally part of the report for the welfare check, is identified as Matthew Flores. He is 27 years old, and Matthew Flores is now considered a suspect in this missing persons investigation. I want you to know, and as you can see, this is an active investigation, and there are a lot of details that we are working on right now. However, I am happy to take some questions that I may be able to answer.
Can you identify anything more about what was found inside the house that leads police to believe that foul play is involved?
Right now, what I can say that we identified is a large amount of blood, and we also identified what we believed as evidence in an attempt to conceal that blood. And that's what made us believe that foul play is involved. There are other things that I can't speak to right now, but I can share with you those two things: a large amount of blood and evidence to us that there was an attempt to conceal that.
And are we going to find out that the two remains in the back are the wife and husband?
Right now, what I can say is that the two remains that we are recovering are not identified, and we are not releasing the name of the father and mother that we expected to be at the residence per the request of the family who made the initial report to us.
Any idea where Matthew Flores may be at the moment, and what does that pursuit look like?
We are working on leads. However, I can't tell you any information where he may or may not be. That's obviously investigative information that we're working on, and we don't want that out to the public right now.
Your press release said he fled the country. Could we be informing viewers potentially south of the border to keep an eye out for him? Anything you can tell us in that way?
What I want our viewers and your audience to know is that if they know anything about Matthew Flores, this 27-year-old individual, which you all have a picture of, if they know anything about him and his activity over the past few days, please give us a call and let us know. I can't give you specifics on where to look in the world. All I can say is that he fled the country.
In what state, maybe you can say, of decay were the bodies found in? In other words, how long do you think they had been in the backyard for? Do you know?
What I can tell you is that the bodies are in a state of decomposition. I can't tell you how many hours or days, but what I can say is that the bodies are in a state of decomposition.
Do you have any idea how long the couple have been missing for prior to the welfare check?
That we can't say right now. That's part of our investigation. Our Criminal Investigations Bureau team is looking at the timeline.
What led detectives to the backyard specifically?
I can't tell you what led them to the backyard. What I can say is anytime we are investigating a missing persons case, we're looking at the totality of the property. But I can't give you whether there was a specific detail or was a part of routine. I can't say.
Did Matthew Flores live at this home with his parents?
What I can say is that Matthew Flores was expected to be at the residence along with his parents at the time of the welfare check call.
Does he have any kind of criminal history or any mental health history?
Right now is not the time to share criminal history about Matthew Flores or his mental health. What we want the public to know is that if they have seen Matthew Flores or anything about him in the past few days, let us know.
Why do you believe he fled the country?
I can't speak to why he fled the country. What I can say is that we believe him to be a suspect in this missing persons investigation.
Is it fair to call him a homicide suspect?
What we are calling him right now is a suspect in this missing persons investigation.
Okay.
That's the best term to use, is a suspect.
Okay. I know that there's been questions regarding the aerial footage there, but it tells somewhat of a story regarding the backhoe that's in the backyard. What can you tell us about that backhoe, about what you found in the backyard outside of human remains?
What we can tell you is that we are recovering 2 unidentified human remains. We are asking that media not take specific shots of the backyard, and that's out of respect for the family and the investigators who are working the scene. I could probably take 2 more questions.
What agencies are you working with?
Right now, specifically, we're working with Phoenix Homicide Unit on scene. Other than that, we are working with other agencies. I don't want to go into detail, but we are working all partnerships that we can in order to solve this.
What would you say to Matthew Flores today to try and get him to turn himself in?
We're not speaking directly to Matthew Flores. Our investigators are investigating this crime. All right, really appreciate you. I'll be off to the side for a few more minutes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so see you there. The press conference just wrapping up and getting some additional details. There was a big question mark as to why they began this investigation. We did get some answers. They said that there was a large amount of blood inside the house as well as looks like ways of concealing that blood, as well as other evidence that they did not mention. And that's why they believed that the parents may be missing in this case.
And searching for all 3 of them really since Tuesday.
Sure.
And now we made this discovery here today. Human remains of 2 individuals found in the backyard of that home. Matthew Flores, the son who was supposed to be at that home, now the main suspect, according to the police there. They are searching for him. Any type of information that you might have, you're asked to call the police department.
We are going to take a quick break. We're going to have much more on later editions of Fox 10.